All right, Shalom. Before I start, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakorash, to honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to all the elect Akim, Wah, Akwath, learning and teaching in truth and sincerity. Another video through the Spirit, your brother Malak from GMS Detroit. I'm going to be playing some clips with your boy, that agent provocateur dude, Jake Lang, right? He's clearly, influenced, paid off by his Amalekite brethren to say things to stir up the people. A grifter, and this is real big right now. Grifters, right? He was out here recently in Detroit causing problems. You had the little mini riots breaking out, right? The nigga dressed up like Spider-Man hopped on his ass, all that good stuff. But he's going to be doing these interviews, and he's actually going to say something for a split second that's actually, a little gem. And is, he's paid off to incite the people, right? But he got to talking, and he gave something away. And it's like, well, wait a minute. If what you're saying is true, then that has implications. That has big implications. So I'm gonna play these clips. Excuse me, y'all. We'll get started. Okay, I believe this one.
You were born a Jewish man, right?
Well, my mother's Jewish. I was baptized when I was born. I never grew up as a Jewish religious person.
Yeah,
my bloodline is Russian, Ashkenazi, white Jewish, yes.
But your mom's a Jew.
And my mom's side, and I'm Irish and German on my father's.
So that makes you Jewish.
The mother does not make you Jewish. The father is where you get your bloodline.
I can bring 20 goddamn rabbis right now, and they're going to be like,
But I can bring you the word of God in the first book of Matthew, where Jesus' bloodline is traced through all the way from him back to Adam, the first man.
Oh, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. What's going on? So this now, we know he's an Amalekite, right? Now he's saying that, his mother's side is Amalekite, father's side German Irish, which is, he's an Amalekite some way, somehow, even on his father's side, right? He's doing the work of his people. But he just openly admitted that the bloodline is traced through the father, rather than what is taught contrary by Amalek, that is through the mother's side. And the main reason why they teach that is because many of the Edomites had laid with Israelite women, right? In the period of the Herodians and whatnot. They were marrying the Hasmonean women, taking them as wives, whether they liked it or not. Women like what? Marianne II, right? These were the female, the Levites of the Maccabees family. You had the Herodian bloodline taking those women and using them to claim Israelite heritage. This is why Amalek perpetuates that falsehood. But this guy just openly admitted some truth. The fact that as an Israelite, your heritage is, as humanity, your heritage is supposed to be traced by that of your father. And he makes note of how Yahweh Shai's line is traced through Matthew, the first chapter. So not only that, that also means that most likely, he doesn't believe in the so-called Immaculate Conception. He's admitting that Yahweh Shai is literally of the seed of Joseph, going back to the seed of David. What in the world is going on?
Men.
So your mom's Jewish, but you're born Jewish and you converted Catholic.
No, I was born Catholic. I was baptized, when I was born. First Holy Communion.
You were baptized the minute you got out the vagina.
No,
You're born Jew.
You can't be born a religion. Either you follow a religion through your heart.
Did Israel kill JFK?
Probably, yeah. He was talking about the central bank.
You were born
And then so he's jumping on all sides of the fence at all times, right? He just dropped that little nugget, and then he still said Amalek probably killed JFK. He mentions the central bank, this is just like a whole maelstrom of things. He's clearly a grifter. He's clearly knows more than what he lets on, and he's clearly playing a character. But he just admitted to that truth, y'all. That's the reality of it. So you so-called Christians Many of you still believe in the so-called virgin birth, right? Immaculate conception. You still believe that, your mother's line, is through the mother. That's not how the Israelites trace heritage, right? We already know Numbers, first chapter. The whole point of this video, y'all, these people out here, they're running around, they're getting on the internet. If you believe what they say, they'll deceive you. Hey, but the elect, you get that. The elect aren't going to be deceived. He's saying things that we already know, but the common people can't understand. The guy that's interviewing him doesn't even get it. You see, he was trying to argue back. He said, but you're a J, right? Your mother was. Well, that's the lie that's been given to the world. So let's get this, y'all. Hey, we're in a good position. We understand everything through righteousness. 2 Corinthians 2:11. Least Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. So we're not in a mental state where the spiritual demon Satan can conquer us, because we're covered under Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakakorash, Lord willing, right? The majority of the people of this world, they're not covered. So they can be easily misguided when guys like this, get up on the camera and get to speak and stuff, because he's supposed to be a champion for the white Christian nationalism, but he's also a J, and he's also a conspiracy. They're like, what's going on? So people don't know what the hell is going on. And he just admitted something that breaks the norm. When the so-called Christians, they do what the little hats tell them to do, right? They follow your mother's line, that type of stuff. But what he just said contradicts that. And that what he said is probably going to go over 99% of their heads. None of them are going to catch that. Or, they don't know how to properly explain it. When you go to the comment, I'm looking in the comments, them motherfuckers don't know what's going on, y'all. That dude's a whole agent provocateur set up to sow discord and confusion. And he's a tool that, as we get closer to the end, Esau is using more and more of these drifters to keep the people heavily, what's that word? Dose? What's the word? You gotta give somebody a shot of something. Sedated. Yep. Trying to keep these people's minds spiritually sedated. Alright, I want to get this out of Matthew 24 real quick. In the end times, these are some of the things that we're dealing with, right? People, everyone against each other. Earthquakes, pestilences, right? Wars and rumors of wars. I'm just going to mention something else right here in the 11th verse, Matthew 24:11. And many false prophets shall arise and shall deceive many. And guys like that, he's set up to deceive many. He's a false anointed, right? He's championing himself as the new herald, for the Christians. Believe him, follow him, and America will be fixed. America will be made great. The immigrants are the problem. The Negroes are the problem. All you need to do is, come back and be white and great and believe the whole bunch of BS. And he's selling a dream and a hope to the, mainly to the Edomites of this land. And it's false. It's a false reality. He understands things that he knows he can't fully tell his followers, because it'll, they can't receive it. That little bit of understanding he just dropped is going to go over all their heads. They're going to believe him, follow him, and still not even understand half the shit coming out of his mouth. But when he gets to speaking that so-called racist stuff, that's all they care and love to hear, and they're going to cheer him on. This shit is a joke. Let me get another clip with him. Actually, I'm going to let that play again, just so y'all heard it. You hear it again.
You were born a Jewish man, right?
Well, my mother's Jewish. I was baptized when I was born. I never grew up as a Jewish religious person.
Yeah,
my bloodline is Russian, Ashkenazi, white Jewish, yes.
But your mom's a Jew.
And my mom's side, and I'm Irish and German on my father's.
So that makes you Jewish.
The mother does not make you Jewish. The father is where you get your bloodline.
I can bring 20 goddamn rabbis right now, and they're going to be like,
But I can bring you the word of God in the first book of Matthew, where Jesus' bloodline is traced through all the way from...
what he also just admitted was that, you know, he said you can't be born a religion. So he also just threw some shit. He also, you know, what the Amalekites go by is not a bloodline. They go by a belief system. You know, so he just dropped 3 big old bombs in one, and going completely over people's heads. Here it is, when we say the same thing, we get, you know, called this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. But when he said, you know, since he the so-called white man, you know, it ain't no problem. That shit crazy, Joe. He just openly said things we've been arguing with people about for decades. Bitter arguing. Come on now, let me get this other clip of him.
Are completely gone. They're having
for too long.
80% of black people are completely gone. They're having children just for their food stamp benefits. They're doing abortions out of control, which thank God for black abortion. We'd have 40 million more black people in this country.
But that's like saying every white man's a pedophile. If you go to per capita, if you go statistically, the white man commits the most pedophilia.
Look at
but do I look at you and call you a pedophile?
No. This is completely debunk this right now. Look at the booking photos of every single person being booked for crime. These black people, these Spanish people, their race underneath all of their crimes are being labeled as white because
that dude just he just talking, y'all. He making that up. Now, there are certain people that come over from the East and they can get the label of white if they fight for it on paper, but come on, bro. He making that up. Hey, Edomites do commit the most of young one touching. That's without a fact. You know, and they be killing their families. What is that? Family annihilators. We see what Lindsay was on. You know, she whacked 3 of her kids. So you see here, y'all, at 1 second he might say something is true, but then the next he's set up to spew that propaganda talk. And he's not the only one. Esau has many guys like this set up. But this is the season right now. A dude's just on the internet saying any old damn thing, getting a following, knowing that, you know, it's fueling the hateful minds of these damn devils running around.
They're mislabeling us in the booking procedure. It is literally one of the greatest psyops ever. America never had any of these problems, pedophilia included, until we started having swarms of minorities here. But
the founding fathers were openly doing things to underage folk, you know, especially the slaves. So once again, he's just talking.
We weren't having a pedophilia problem until immigrants. Well, look at the Epstein list. It's all white people. Like
those are synagogue of Satan.
It's Bill Clinton. It's Hillary
people.
Clinton. It's Jeffrey Epstein. It's people from the news. It's world leaders.
Some of the people in the levers of power in the synagogue of Satan, the New World Order, the deep state regime are white, but it is not representative of how our culture is, how our societies are. 80% of black.
So he just mentioned those 3 things: NWO, right? The elites. You know, Hollywood, y'all, he knows more than what he lets on, but he's paid to preach a certain script. You know, he tries to hurry up and shift past that and get back on niggas. You know, he says some of the people that do that are white, but it's not a representation of our culture. Oh, so when some of your people do it, we can't paint y'all with a broad brush. But if some of our people do something, you paint us with a broad brush. The accuser of our brethren, y'all. That's all that it is. You know, Esau, he's so busy pointing the finger at us. When his wicked deeds are highlighted, you know, he throws a fit and tries to blame shift. Right? So this is interesting. You know, this dude is an interesting character. Like I said, he knows a lot more than what he lets on. And the idiot followers under him, when he says little things like this, they're still not going to see it or get it or understand. So really, y'all, stuff like that is for us. We know the truth. So him saying those little things, it just confirms what we already know, that these people are paid off. There are elites working in the shadows in the background. Hey, your heritage is traced through your father. Hey, we are speaking the truth. And these sons of guns on the left-hand side know it. You know, they're trying to pretend, they're trying to hide, they're trying to lie. We have the truth, y'all. That's why they're trying so hard to fight against it. But they're going to be unsuccessful. So what I want to do is end with this one, a classic, oldie but goodie. You already know, Psalms 50 and 20. Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother. Thou slanderest thine own mother's son. Hey, evil E, nasty E, right? They love to point the finger at us. We're his twin brothers, the Israelites and the Edomites. It says, these things hast thou done, and I kept silence. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such as one as thyself, but I will reprove thee and set them in orders before thine eyes. Set them in order before thine eyes. And that's how this all plays out. Esau has been given the time and the ability to take advantage of the world and of the Israelites, right? He's believed that the Heavenly Father was with him. Things like manifest destiny, when he swept across the western United States, removing Gad and Reuben from their lands, right? He believed that he was ordained to do what he was doing, and he was for a time, just like Alexander the Great was, just like Nebuchadnezzar the Fifth, just like Artaxerxes, just like Darius, just like Cyrus. And then what? Then it was time for the empires to fall. And now the Israelites are on the rise. And so this man who has accused us, who's laid traps of sin all before us, now he is about to answer for his judgment. And there's no one he's going to be able to point the finger at. The prophecies will be fulfilled. Esau will fall and Jacob will rise. And that's how this wraps up. So hey, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rakakwadash, the honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to all the elect Akim, Wa Aqua, learning and teaching in truth and sincerity. Shalom.